UNH is in a massive spot, guys. We mentioned in the last video, we are targeting 339, and it does appear we're about to hit that within a few days. And with these other price target levels being higher with these gap fills, it does appear there's a lot more upside to continue. That being said, guys, my name is Dylan from Dylan's Trades. We're going to get straight to this technical analysis breakdown, first stemming over on the weekly. UNH is in a multi-year range, guys. We were hovering since the October range around 2021 from the floor to the ceiling. Right, we come down for about 3 months, touch the floor, come right down to the ceiling. We hang here for about 4 or 5 months, reject. The cycle continues over the years, right? We did get this, descending wedge, nice formation, break over, retest, ultimately knife down below, use it as resistance, but we've really just stayed amongst these two constraints, being this top resistance marker and the floor. Stock price looked very, very good, guys. We did have a newfound break over this descending channel. It did appear we're going to get the breakout. But when we flip over to the daily, guys, you see stock price gap down dramatically with bad news, about $100 in one day. This immediately flushed a lot of buyers in the market, pushing panic into the market. We did collapse from this floor, and that's really been the staple for what's been going on with UNH, guys. Since breaking the floor, we had a very dramatic, quick rush down. Stock price surged down to as low as 47%. Until long-term buyers really get in this position amongst the traders, guys. When you see a big, nice blue chip stock like UNH get very regressed outside the Bollinger Bands, which you typically never see, you see a harsh retracement to push towards the center. Typically, we don't use Bollinger Bands on the channel, guys, but UNH is an outlier. Whenever we do get outside this, we almost always push to the top, right? We almost always push to the top, right? Being this blue line. So we are expecting a regression to push back to the mean, guys. With that being said, we are looking at a red to green reversal, where stock price prints multiple red candles coinciding with a harsh overextension to the downside. Momentum traders, Bollinger Band traders, all these kind of guys, even long-term traders, dollar cost averaging, established position, shoving stock price higher, flipping candlesticks green, and upward tick in price action, guys. We were looking around these $300 levels, expecting almost an immediate rise up. We didn't get that, guys. Sometimes you can get the timing wrong. This is perfectly okay. This is trading, right? It took around the 1-2 weeks, kind of doled around. We mentioned within this red candle, guys, do not sell. This is a good opportunity here. We immediately flip green, and now we're pressing up higher, guys, getting over the nice top of this range, as we really have been in a little bit of consolidation, between these constraints. Breaking over the top with a strong body bar really signifies that this movement right here is likely the hardcore reversal within this red to green reversal. That being said, guys, we got what we need to get out of the weekly. Let's go over the daily for a little bit more of a medium to short-term analysis. A huge sign for the bulls, guys. The buyers have really left their mark on the last trading day, being that we have seen a very, very spike volatility entering the market, guys. And it's really just gotten very, very hardcore since this huge gap down, right? Stock price was at $580 just a few months ago before all this news set in. When we initially gapped down from this 374 level, we gapped down hard, pressing down significantly. Notice how this volume pressure gets very, very hardcore, guys, right? These two candles over here, we see huge increases in volume prior to being very, very flat. These big, big increases in volume, right? Then we start to see the green ticks up, the buyer stepping back in, right? With some nice buying pressure. And then we kind of just get a little bit ill, right? We're really just consolidating. What does the volume do? We see the same within volume, right? We're really within this descending trend line, and we're starting to break over that. Right, if we pull this up a little bit better, we get a better representation of that. We've gotten the slight break over this within last trading day, having a volume of 17.5 million, guys. So we really want to see a little bit over this 20 million to have the hardcore press over with that breakout volume. As 100%, guys, volume is a huge indication with these kind of momentum stocks. So straight away, we're seeing some nice volume pressure. We're not quite in that 100% breakout level, guys, but we're very close to the volume ticking up hardcore within the next few days. And if that happens, guys, these gaps seem more and more inevitable to be filled at these 374 levels. And first and foremost, targeting the initial gap down day at 339 to 340, guys. And this is the number one data point we can keep it on. 100%, guys. When we have these hardcore movements down, stock price yanks down. This is the last measurement, right? Right at the top of this candle. As within these 2 days of price action, guys, there is zero data points. We completely gap down, leaving no trace at all for data, right? So the number one spot where short sellers are looking to maybe establish a position is if we potentially get to this level, right? This is the first established resistance. We've been talking about this, guys. You've been following the channel. You know this since these lower levels around 300 bucks, 295, something around there, right? So this is the only area they can step in. I don't believe they'll be successful, but then there'll be a good risk reward setup where they can target a double top leg formation, right? There's no data outside of this. Once 339, 340 is effectively cleared, right, then the next zone will be 374, right? So there's a lot of upside potential. There's not a lot of resistance to be had, especially considering how overextended we are to the downside once again. So with all these core elements being established, guys, let's further analyze the current candles. Each one of these candles representing one day, by the way, for you newer term traders. I know we have a lot of seasoned guys on the channel. You guys obviously know this. Straight away, guys, we mentioned in the last video over here that we're seeing the breakout candle over this descending channel, as these offer just such a nice, setup, guys. When we see this very, very tight price action squeezing down with this descending trend line and this ascending trend line, someone has to win. Right, we came on the channel last, mentioned we do have the breakout. We should be pushing up at 339, 340, and we're really, really close, guys. Seeing this nice big wide bar looks beautiful as well, because we say this all the time, guys. One key candle can completely eliminate a trend. Notice how it's been very, very choppy, right? As we mentioned, right? If we delete these trend lines, we've more or less just kind of been in a consolidation-like phase. Stock price being pretty dull. We've had some decent moves up, some decent moves down, a couple nice movements here, but now we're seeing a big statement from the buyers at a very key level, guys. When you see a big liquidity bar pressing up from a very major point like this is the kind of daily candle, guys, where we can look back, say a month from now when chart is, done something like this, right? We say, oh yeah, it was this candle down here, guys. This is the liquidity, right? This is where all the short sellers who are still in their position shorting at these highs, right? Shorting at these highs, they've gotten out. So this is the most meaningful candle, the most meaningful buying pressure, and understanding that in these key spots, guys, one big candle can completely eliminate this chop. So it does appear that this is the candle, right? Within the next day or two, perhaps we do have a little bit of a doji candle consolidation. It's a little bit hard to say as now, just being 100% honest from the daily perspective, but it almost feels about inevitable that we will, rise up higher, claim this gap daily high at 339.72, or it'd be rough 340, right? And then from there, we'll take it from there, guys. But as of now, we don't want to play too much in the short-term aspect, right? With these big kind of candles. We mentioned with BBAI, right? We mentioned that. One candle could take out an entire trend. We came on the channel here. We mentioned this is the candle take out the trend. We said maybe we get a day or two pullback. What do we get? We got a day or two pullback, and then boom. Not saying we have to have a crazy 40% move up, but actually I think it was a little bit higher than that, right? But yeah, guys, it looks really, really good. The chart looks really, really good here. And seeing this big, meaningful wide bar exploding out of this range, it definitely does lead you to believe that this could be the next trend shift over the next few months to lead to these higher levels. UNH is an incredibly responsive stock. Each and every hourly candlestick really lets us know the more short-term aspect of things, right? When we were initially breaking out of this daily pennant, we squeezed out into this baby flag, giving us the short-term indication for this breakout. Stock price did rise from around 297 to the highs around 318 for forming this, pennant-like formation. We broke below. Over here, we mentioned we're likely to pick up a bid on this ascending trend line. It's exactly what we did. We came down. We almost broke down beneath. We spiked up. We got tight within these two, constraints. Now having a new apex amongst this pattern being this descending trend line and this ascending trend line. Someone had to win. We mentioned in the last video, we've seen some strong liquidity bars, very meaningful big bars breaking out of a very important moment, as we've seen a ton of sellers clog up within these levels, attempting to get a gap down low. We mentioned if we crush down from the ascending trend line, guys, we can see downside just to how tight this pinch is. We end up getting the upside, and that completely reversed on its head, guys, as we expected. Since this breakout, it just looks great, guys. Being this very, very meaningful wide bars pressing up, it is likely we form some sort of a flag. We'll be keeping a close eye on this, guys. Really, any way UNH goes, even if we have a little bit of a pullback here, it's still completely healthy. We've had very strong liquidity centering back to the daily. So even if we pull out into some sort of flag like this and kind of get tight in this flag-like formation, this would be, beautiful, guys, for the next movement to push it 339. So very high probability we do that, especially considering we've seen these flags in the past. 1, 2, perhaps we see one on a bigger scale. But with that being said, guys, you got to feel good about UNH here, right? Because even if we do, once again, pull back, we can still set a low somewhere around here and move up higher, and it can be completely healthy. So not a lot in it for the sellers. The sellers will need to do something very drastic to control this trend, and it does appear to be the bulls chart. With that being said, guys, if you enjoyed the video, consider like, subscribing. We have been covering UNH over the last few weeks, and it does appear things are amping up as of now. That being said, guys, my name is Dylan once again. I hope you guys have a good day, man. Take care and trade smart, and peace.